The last crisis. We are living in a time of the end. The fast fulfilling signs of the times declare that the coming of the Christ is near at hand. We've had the dark day, and the moon is blood, and the Lisbon earthquake, and the stars fell in 1833. That was the last of those signs from Matthew 24. The Spirit of God is gradually but surely being withdrawn from the earth. Plagues and the judgments are already falling upon the despisers of the grace of God. The disasters by land and sea, the destructive state of society, the terrors of war are ever threatening. They forecast approaching events of the greatest magnitude. The agencies of evil are combining their forces together. They are strengthening for the last great crisis. Great changes are taking place in our world, and the final movements will be rapid ones. The condition of everything in the world shows that the last crisis is close upon us. The daily media is full of the terrorist conflicts by IS. Bold robberies are of frequent occurrence. Thefts and murders are committed on every hand. Men possessed of demons are taking the lives of men, women and little children. Men have become infatuated with vice, and every species of evil prevails. The evil enemy has succeeded in perverting justice and filling men's hearts with a desire for selfish gain. Justice is turned back, and righteousness stands afar off, for truth is fallen in the street, and equity cannot enter. The Scriptures describe the condition of the world just before Christ's second coming. You have heaped up treasures in the last days. Indeed, the wages of labourers who have worked in your fields, which you kept back by fraud, cry out, and the cries of the reapers have reached the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. That's the armies. You have lived in the earth in pleasure and luxury. You have fattened your hearts as in the day of slaughter. But who reads the warnings given by the fast-fulfilling signs of the times? What impression is made upon people in this world? What change is seen in their attitude? No more than was seen in the attitude of the inhabitants of the Noachian world. Absorbed in worldly business and pleasures, the antediluvians knew not until the flood came and took them all away. And today the world, utterly regardless of the warning voice of God, is hurrying on to eternal ruin. The prophecies of the 11th chapter of Daniel has nearly reached its complete fulfillment. Soon the scenes of trouble spoken of in Isaiah will take place. Behold, the Lord makes the earth empty and makes it waste, distorts its surface and scatters abroad its inhabitants. Because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore the curse has devoured the earth, and those who dwell in it are desolate. The noise of jubilant ends. The joy of the harp ceases. Should no change have taken place in the hearts of proud, ambitious human beings, men will find that the hand that had been strong to save will be strong to destroy. No earthly power can stay the hand of God. No material can be used in the erection of buildings that will preserve them from destruction when God's appointed time comes to send retribution on men for their disregard of his law and for their selfish ambition. Jeremiah writes, I beheld the earth, and indeed it was without form and void, and the heavens, and they had no light. I beheld the mountains, and indeed they trembled, and all the hills moved back and forth. I beheld, and indeed there was no man, and all the birds of the heavens had fled. I beheld, and indeed the fruitful land was a wilderness, and all its cities were broken down at the presence of the Lord by his fierce anger. Not all in the world have taken sides with the enemy against God. Not all have become disloyal. There are a faithful few who are true to God. For John writes, "Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus." Fearful tests and trials await the people of God. The spirit of war is stirring the nations from one end of the earth to the other. But in the midst of the time of trouble that is coming, a time of trouble such as never been since there was a nation, God's chosen people will stand unmoved. Satan and his hosts cannot destroy them, for angels that excel in strength will protect them. With uplifted heads, with the bright beams of the Sun of Righteousness shining upon them, with rejoicing that their redemption draws close, they will go forth to meet the Lord, saying, "Lo, this is our God, we have waited for him, and he will save us." And they will be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. That trump which wakes the sleeping saints and calls them forth from their dusty beds, clothed with glorious immortality, and shouting, "Victory, victory over death and the grave." The changed saints are then caught up to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall they ever be with the Lord. Would you like to join in with them? See the good news. God bless you, friend.